Hi folks, welcome to statisticsmentor.com. I'm Phil. Continuing on with my previous video where I showed you how to calculate powers, multiply powers, what we're going to do now is multiply powers of powers, or deal with powers of powers. And there's going to be two groups of questions we're going to deal with, this first group and the second group. Each of them uses a different rule of multiplying powers. So if you look at this and you find that there's any that you're not unsure of, just keep watching the video. I'm going to deal with this set first. I'll present the rules and then we'll apply them to these 6 questions. Okay, ready? Alright. This is the rule. We have a number, x, to the power of a, and then we take the whole thing of that to the power of b. That is the same as saying x to the power of a times b. Now let's look at this again, a bit more detail. X is a number. It can be positive, negative, it can be whole number, it can be fractions. Likewise for a and b, it can be positive, negative values, it can be whole numbers, it can be fractions. I'm not dealing with complex or imaginary numbers here, so we just consider these to be ordinary numbers that we deal with everyday lives, we'll call the real numbers. Okay, so that's it. Now, before I continue, I just want to point out something here which might some of you may get confused about. This notation is different to this notation, and this is not equal to x to the ab. Alright, recall what the brackets mean. Brackets means that we do everything in the brackets first. So this is saying take that number x, take it to the power of a, and for that answer, take that answer to the power of b. Whereas what this one is saying, because they ain't got any brackets, is more like take a to the power of b, and with that, take x to the power of that answer. Okay. Now your calculator can do this one if you don't apply this rule. If you just do x to the power of a to the power of b in a calculator, it's not going to interpret it like this, it's going to interpret it like this, and you can see that the two answers are going to be different. So this one is more like equal to take the power first. In other words, if I use the bracket, it says do this bit first, then take x to that bit. Okay. So just hold in your head for now this, because this is the rule, but this confusion of a notation could get you the wrong answer, as we'll soon see. Now let's turn to the examples. Okay, x, first question, 2 to the power of 3 and all to the power of 2. Using the rules, this says that it's 2 to the power of 3 times 2, which is equal to 2 to the power of 6. We can put that in our calculator, do it in your head, 64. Okay. Now a way to see this, if you want to understand what this power is doing, is the following. Take this group, it's saying 2 times 2 times 2. I'm saying take that group because there's a bracket around it, so that's a group. And what we do is we multiply it by itself twice, that's what this says. So I do it again, that grouping. So the grouping of 2 by 2 by 2, 2 times, there and there. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in my previous video, I showed you that this is 2 to the power of 6. Okay. That's done. Good. Next one is 2, and I'll put it on the same page so you can compare, to the power of 3 to the power of 2. Now you might say, well, doesn't it give the same answer? It's no, because now that there's no brackets around here, this is the point I was getting at in the video earlier on, no brackets around here, what this is actually saying is do this power first. So it's 3 to the power of 2, which is 9, and then 2 to the power of 9. So it's no longer 2 to the power of 6, it's 2 to the power of 9, and someone tell me what that is on a calculator. Okay, I've just done it on the calculator. It's 512. So completely different answers. Yeah? So put these side by side so you can see that the brackets here matter. Here with no brackets means you do that first. Now if you enter this expression in the calculator, which these days on a scientific calculator you can do this, then it's going to do this first, and then it'll do 2 to the power of that. In other words, it'll interpret it like this. It will not interpret it like this. Next one. So here I introduce a fraction and a negative number. So remember I was saying that the numbers, the x, a, b's, they can be negative, they can be fractions, but the rule applies. So we take that number 3, and the rule says we take this and multiply by this because we've got the brackets here. It's minus 3 over 3, which is same as saying minus 1. Now use the other rule that we know about. We can obviously calculate this in the calculator, or we can just say that this is 1/3. Okay, as a revision recap, why is this a third? Because any number to the power of minus a is same as saying 1 over that number a, using this rule here. Alright, so hopefully now you've got the drift, you've got the idea. If you want to see the final 3 examples continuing on to the next part of this video.